Hello, welcome to Do It Yourself with Wayne. Today we're going to talk about mounting birdhouses. We've done a bunch of videos about birds and birdhouses. Obviously, we've done videos about building all these different birdhouses here that were specifically for bluebirds. And if you go to our playlist for birds, and we'll put a link to that in the description down below, it lists all the different videos that we've done about birds. But today we're just going to talk about mounting bluebirds, bird houses rather. And there's a lot of different ways you can mount them. Sometimes, what you have to work with, the house that you've got, or just personal preference. But there's a lot of different ways to mount them, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, probably the easiest birdhouse to mount is this style here, where the back plate goes above and below the house. Put a couple nails in it, just one at each end is all you really need. And you mount it to a post. We're going to take this, done. Now, we don't recommend that you put these on trees, but you can do that. But if you do mount this to a tree, don't drive your nails in all the way. I mean, you can drive them in further than this, but never drive the nail all the way up to the wood. And over time, maybe once a year, get your hammer and pull that nail back out a little bit, because as the tree grows, if you're not careful, it'll grow around that nail and then you can't get it out without damaging the tree. So like I said, we don't recommend you mount them to a tree, but if you do, don't drive the nails in all the way. And as far as the height of the birdhouse, about 5 feet off the ground. Now this might be a little bit low, but it's just for demonstration purposes. But you need to make sure that when you clean the house, you can see in it to clean it well, and you want it high enough off the ground to help keep cats and other varmints from jumping up there. But about 5 feet off the ground, and this is a little bit low, but like I said, it's just for demonstration. Now the next birdhouse we're going to install it on a metal post. Now this is in my backyard. It's been here for years. And the metal post is a 3/4 inch water pipe that's into the ground with some concrete around it. We also have a video about how to install one of these. If you subscribe to our channel, that wouldn't be hard to find, but it's installing a bluebird house, and what we do differently from other folks is about installing the post like this. But what you do on the bottom of your house, you get a floor flange like this, and it's called a floor flange. You can get it at any hardware store, and just mount it to the bottom of your house. I've already got one mounted on here. And once you get your post installed, and like I said, our other video will show you how to do that, you just set your house on here and you thread it on. And sometimes it's a little bit difficult, but it'll go. There we go. I think we're getting started now. Yeah. And you just spin it on until it gets a little tight on the post. Turn it the way you want it. And there you go. Another feature of this is we got a baffle on here. If you can, it's always good to install a baffle of some sort under your bluebird houses, because different kinds of critters will try to get up in there and steal the babies or steal the eggs. And it just helps protect them a little bit more. But if you can't, put a baffle on here, it's okay. It still helps the bluebirds. So anyway, that's this particular install on a metal water pipe that gets cemented into the ground. Now this birdhouse that we're going to install is going to be a little bit different, but it's still a pole mount. We're going to use a piece of rebar. This is about 3-4 feet long. We're going to drive it in the ground. We got a 5-foot piece of electrical conduit. Now these particular pieces are not particularly expensive, and they're probably easier to install than the pipe one that we just showed you. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how we install this, then I'm gonna show you how we attach the birdhouse to it. Now when you drive your rebar in the ground, try to get it as straight as you can. I mean, it's not absolutely critical, but try to make it straight, look a little better. Now depending on where you live, your ground may be softer or harder. But just take your half-inch electrical conduit and just slide it right down over it. Like that. Now your birdhouse fits right on top of this. Now the way we mount the birdhouse, and we're going to do this one, which is the slot entry birdhouse, and just FYI, this birdhouse can be built if you don't have a drill. And on the back of it, we got 2 clamps, and these clamps are for half-inch electrical conduit. We got a screw, we got them started, and up here I got an extra screw. Where the conduit comes up through these brackets, it'll hit that screw, and that keeps the house from sliding down on the conduit. So let's go ahead and put this on here. Come down like that. This might be easier if I left them a little bit looser. There we go. Then I'll tighten my screws up, and there it is. And if you need to turn it, you can. But once you tighten down those screws on the back, you got a fairly sturdy mount for your Bluebird house. It's not as strong as your your water pipe that we showed previous to this, but it works quite well. It'll get the job done. So that's our third method for installing a Bluebird house. Now one extra thing about this particular birdhouse, if you've got a child that wants a birdhouse, this is a good design. If you don't have a drill, you can build this house. It's not particularly expensive. The mounting on the back of it is relatively inexpensive items that, that's not hard to install. And the way it installs with the rebar into the ground, if you want to move it around, if you don't like where you put it, you just pull the rebar up and drive it in somewhere else. And it's very easy to move. It's easy to build. So if you got a child that wants to build a birdhouse, this is a good one to go with. Now in finishing up, we showed you 3 different ways that you can mount your birdhouses. And there obviously are other ways, but those are probably the 3 most common ways. And if you want to paint the pole that you put it on, you can. It's not a problem. We do recommend a baffle if you're in a scenario where you can use a baffle. We do recommend that. But anyway, another note about the Bluebird houses themselves, you can paint them if you want to. Apparently the little bluebirds don't really care what color you paint them. But if you're going to have it out where it's in the bright sun, a lighter color would be better because darker colors that would get a lot hotter inside for the bluebirds. But if you do paint the house, don't paint the inside of the house. Only paint the outside. Because you don't want the inside to be slick where the little bluebirds can't get a grip to get out. So anyway, that's it for mounting these bird houses. And again, we'd like to say we'd really appreciate it if you click like on our videos and subscribe to our channel. And for all of our bird videos, look at our playlist about birds. So anyway, thank you for visiting. Do it yourself with Wayne. We hope you have a great day and a wonderful birding season.